Hey everybody, Mr. Siegel here and Rosie the dog. I'm happy to say that this is going to be our last math video of the year. Yay! It is our last chapter. We've made it all the way to the end. We're kind of going back to shapes now. More specifically, we're going to be talking about the rectangle. What do we know about rectangles? Well, we know there are 4 right angles, and we know that opposite sides are equal, and we know that a square is a type of rectangle. So we're going to be dealing with squares and rectangles, and we're going to be finding what's called the perimeter and the area. So we've got a couple of assignments on perimeter, a couple of assignments on area, some word problems. But I'm going to teach you about the two things now. You might have done this before. It's not that hard with the rectangle. With some other shapes it gets a little more complicated, but again, we're only talking about the rectangles. So if you know what a rectangle is, you should be fine. We're going to come over here. I'm going to define perimeter and area, and then I'm going to show you a couple of pictures, and then that'll be it. So the perimeter is defined, the perimeter is the distance around a shape. I will write that. Distance around a shape. If you know the sides of the shape, you can just add them together and you'll have the perimeter, again, for a rectangle. The area is the measure of the number of square units needed to cover a surface. So that's a lot of words, but let's write it out. The measure of the number of square units needed to cover a surface. So basically what's inside. If you were painting a wall, it would be the inside of the wall. So you have perimeter and area. So let's take a look at a rectangle. Remember, the opposite sides are going to be the same. So if this side is 2, you know this side is 2. If this side is 4, you know this side is 4. It might not tell you both sides, you just have to know that the opposite sides are the same. So in order to find the perimeter, you are going to just add up all the sides. 2 plus 4 is 6, 6 plus 2 is 8, 8 plus 4 is 12. The perimeter is going to equal 12. It's going to be 12 something. It might be meters, it might be centimeters, it might be inches, it could be anything, any kind of unit. You just have to always label your answers. Now the area, to find the area, you're going to multiply the base or the length times the height, which is the one side times the other side. 2 times 4 is 8. And the only difference here is that you take the unit and you square it, because it's square units. So the area is equal to something square units. So again, and if you know a square, it's a funny looking square, but if the one side is 4, you know all the sides are 4. So you can just fill that in yourself. And then 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4, same thing as 4 times 4. Your perimeter would be 16, whatever, centimeters. And your area would be 4 times 4, or 16 centimeters squared. Okay, so that's how you find perimeter and area. Again, with rectangles and squares, it's not that difficult. What we might do is give you the perimeter, and you need to find a missing side, or give you the area, and you need to find the missing side. So if I told you that the area, let me see where I can write because I've run out of space. Let's use this graph paper. If we have a square, and I tell you that the area is 25 kilometers squared, and I ask you to find what each side of the square is, well, you know they're going to be equal. All sides of a square are equal. So what times itself is equal to 25, and we know that 5 times 5 is equal to 25. So we know that each side is going to be 5 kilometers. And if I then asked you to find the perimeter, you could just add the sides together and your perimeter would be 5, 10, 15, 20 kilometers. So you might see a rectangle that looks like this, and instead of sides, you're going to see boxes. The perimeter, you have to count the different sides. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know, this side would be 3, this side would be 5. The perimeter would be 5 plus 3 is 8, plus 5 is 13, plus 3 is 16. So let's say 16 meters. Your area would be counting the boxes inside. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Your area is going to be 15 meters squared. And if you did the multiplication, your length times your height, 3 times 5, you're going to get 15, and that's your area. All right, so that's a lot, but that's really the last chapter, and that's the end of the Go Math book. Congratulations, you did it. We made it to the end. You have a couple of assignments on perimeter, a couple of assignments on area, a couple of word problems, but it's all the same thing. It's either finding the sides, or finding the perimeter, or finding the area. All right, we will see you, well, we'll see you in 5th grade. Have a good last couple of weeks, and we'll see you soon.